Okay, as promised, we're just gonna walk around this video. I think the reason why I've been um, kind of deferring this is because there's really not a lot to see. This is the sandbox. The artwork is work in progress. Um, so the all you're really getting here is like placeholders and you know, uh, yeah, ideas that aren't yet implemented. In fact, look, there's not even a boundary set up here. I think there is a boundary set up here. Yep. This is an example of reuse. This is the same cabinet we see down in the kitchen. And because we have that object as a reusable component here, it inherits the same behaviors wherever we decide to place it. And the artwork can change. In the production version of this game, that upstairs cabinet will have a different visual asset, but it's still the same code. So that's kind of cool. All right, so that was a tour of downstairs, and here's the backyard. And a long walk. Fun fact, this, oh yeah, and the door animates. Walk inside. There you go. And it's very sparse here. All right, so the fun fact is that this house is actually modeled after our home in the Bay Area that we had up until recently, which we sold it and moved away from the Bay Area. But in any case, it's sort of like a fun tribute. Let's see, gloves. Let's see. Yay, so we've picked up the gloves. And now I think if we click on the bug, yeah, touch slumber slug with hand, and that's supposed to cause her to die. So let's select the dragon hide gloves, and then we can pick up the slumber slug. Oh, and that's supposed to put it in your inventory. I didn't, whatever. Spoiler alert. I guess it doesn't work to say spoiler alert after you've given the spoiler. Okay, I think that's it for the game. I mean, this is the sandbox. I'm not going to reveal the actual game. That would be a big spoiler. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour. The game, I realize it doesn't look like much. If I didn't mention already, we are going for the Looney Tunes slash like Lost in Play style, and this is just a placeholder. But I know I've said that before, but it is somewhat indicative of the eventual style. The eventual style will be a little more rendered, a little more finished, of course, but flat and wonky is that deliberate style. If you've ever watched like Bugs Bunny, in that Halloween episode where he's having tea with the witch, or the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type episode of Bugs Bunny, those are probably the strongest influencers, and they're just very strange. It's very deliberately odd stuff going on in the artwork. Things are deliberately unfinished, and it's just cool. There's something very quirky about it that we like, and so we're adopting that sort of style. And also another reason for that is that our game is supposed to be a little bit spooky. It's a child-friendly game, but it's spooky. And so we want to, incorporate some of that. Like I said, the Halloween witch episode from, Bugs Bunny, or the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde episode. Those are both fairly creepy, Halloween special kind of episodes. So anyway, I am talking too much. I think that's everything. That's supposed to be pencils in the dumbwaiter. They're not currently linked to any action. When I click them, there's a no op, and so instead you just go upstairs. So yep. Eventually you'll be able to move the chair. Actually, this room doesn't even look like the actual room. Should I give you a little teaser? There is a. Let me stop. For any of you that are still hanging around, let me reward you. Oops, caps lock. Let's just get rid of any changes that I made. Okay, good. Oh, and then before we make major changes, so this is not the latest, but it is considerably. No, it's an old snapshot, but it is of the production game, not the sandbox. So I'll just give you it's like a little. It's artwork that is also work in progress, but much more indicative of the style that we're shooting for. This is why YouTube is great, because you can just press the arrow keys to skip past all this stuff. Skip, 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 skip. I'm not going to cut this from the video, so I hope you guys will forgive me. If you're still listening to me, I apologize. Just fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Okay. So let me open. So that's the sandbox. Now we want the release version. Now this is an early version of the release. So it doesn't do a lot. It's more. This was the beginnings of when we were transitioning new assets into the game. Let's see. So there's a lot of things that are not hooked up, but so also work in progress. But it's a little. It's less placeholder and more now exploratory. So you get the idea. Yeah. So let's see. What can I show you about this since you're here? I think I can show you some Mr. Jack here, Mr. Jack O'Lantern. He has some animations attached to him. Which I need to move the camera over. Why didn't I grab the camera? Hello. Main camera. Oh, because I have the widgets turned off. Let's just move it over like this. Okay. So if we look at Jack, so for debugging purposes, these are those decorators that I was talking about in my first video, I think. Yep, notice they're not attached to the scene. I'm not even going to get into why right now. Okay, so Jack has all of his own animations that came from Toon Boom attached to him. They're no longer attached to the root scene, which is much better. And we can just play them. We can demo them. And this is really great because when, one of the artists says, hey, I want to see my stuff in the game, oh, okay, great. We can pull it in, click a button, it imports it, and then generates the animation so we can then just see it, for real. Like, oh, click idle, and then just is a little silly animation. This is a placeholder. Yay, and it plays, and each one automatically gets a reverse animation because we use those a lot. Oops, you failed to do this thing. Fire, and then, oh, you did it right. Yay. All right. So what else? Like I'm not sure why I'm showing you these. These are not animations that are going to go in the actual game. I guess I'm just showing you random things. Okay, well, let's call this done. The goal here was not to show you animations. The goal was to show you a step forward in the direction we wanted to go with our artwork. But yet I can only show you this. This is old because this is the last moment that we had this sort of not actual artwork in the game that I can still show you. If I go on to the later versions of the game, you'll see actual artwork, and that would be a real spoiler, so can't do that. Yeah. All right. There's going to be one last video after this, and I think it's a good one, though it's more just some chat. So stay tuned because I would like to talk about some struggles in general of game making. And if you're new to game making, you might value this.